Welcome, guys. I'm in my parents' house. I wanted to give you a little feedback, recap on my run in Lourdes, the first round of the World Cup this year. So yeah, it was pretty hectic. A lot of people all weekend long. So actually, super sick to have the opener in France with a good crowd, a good track. They've been working a little bit on the old course, but it was mainly the same. They just added some little things there and there, but it was still amazing track. A little bit slower than before, maybe, but overall, I was a little bit disappointed of my run in finals, but super happy of my weekend. So it was the first one. It was the moment to get to the temperature, feel how everybody was doing, and also myself. So I was pretty happy to come home with third. Just a little bit disappointed that Finn also beat me. he was he was running really well all weekend, and he was so happy, and I understand, But yeah, hats off to Amori also, who pulled down a really fast run. This kind of runs he does when he's on fire. So nah, pretty good. A lot of things happened, and pretty cool first race in overall. So maybe we talk a little bit more after, but I'm gonna look at the run with you, and we're gonna talk a little bit of my riding and what happens and what's the vibe. Okay. Okay. So right now I'm in the start gate, last man down the hill. I love this feeling, and boom, out of the gate, big pedal strokes. You have to be pretty intense out of the gate. And that first corner was super tricky, but I managed to do it pretty well with a good exit. But the first rocks right here, I already feel like actually my bike is way too hard. So the problem I had, that I was talking about with my run, was that we always try to adapt settings for the last run of the weekend, like the fastest of all. And I was like, yeah, Jacko, we're gonna do this. I feel like I need the bike to react like that. So can you do this? And he was like, we had a new set of suspensions, like new stuff. He was like, we can try if you want. It was pretty tricky, but I wanted to take the risk to do it. And actually, the bike was just way too much compression, front and back. It was super fast, but too fast for me. So I was not really able to exploit it, to use it. Can you dire, tu veux dire exploit it? I was not really able to use the potential of the bike. The bike was just going without me, and I was just hanging on as like a flag, like whoa. So I was a little bit fighting the bike and not really flowy and being efficient on the track. So I was a little bit. After the first few turns, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a long run. It's gonna be hard to stay on the bike. It's like a rodeo a little bit. So whatever. It's the last run. Everything's possible. Let's go. So this is the first rock garden. Go again. Got a little bit kicked also on those little drops, but I was okay. This section was super sick before the steep. Boom. You have this super steep line where I'm actually trying to go on the right because the main line was super rough, but when I saw the replay and I saw what other guys did, I don't know if it was faster to go on the right. It was smoother and a little bit more opening your next left-hander, but it was a little bit slower because you had to set up before, so I don't know if it was more efficient or not, but that section is still one of my favorite on the track. And there is the first new section we had. And actually, just before, I almost hit a tree, so I had to lose a bit of speed on that straight away, but it was not too bad. Here, hop inside. I was pretty like I hit that line pretty good, and that's where the second split is, and I was in green. So pretty good, knowing that I was in the mix, but Amori had a mistake just before this section, so he was actually a little bit behind, but his pace on the first split was really good. So he was there kind of, and after his mistake, we kind of came back in front. And from there, I'm starting. It's like a minute something. I'm starting to feel like struggles riding the bike, and you'll see in that little corner I get kicked because I'm a little bit too much on the right too, plus the bike. I'm like, whoa, and I almost bin it, go over the bars. So pretty lucky to keep it on 2 wheels. But look, there was actually one of my favorite sections of the track because the dirt was so good. And here, poof, I almost go over the bar. And I was so sketchy. I was like, no, 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 this was not going well. The crowd started to be pretty massive, so super cool feeling on the bike. Then there I'm like head to head with Amaury, but he's actually on the heater of a run. So my entrance in the wood here, I'm like too safe. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm not taking enough risk, you know. And then from here, like honestly, pretty solid road section, jump, boof. Like I feel like when I crossed the road, like just before the road, crossing the road there, I was hitting things pretty well. Like the bike was reacting well and stuff. And I felt like once you do that section, you go in the end of the woods plus the canyon. There physically, I started to be cooked. So my arms, everything started to be like overly tired because of the way the bike was feeling. And then I started to fight the bike and try to stay on the bike, not crashing, instead of trying to go fast. So I feel like this is where I lost a lot of time. And I was a little bit frustrated because there was so many people on the side of the track. And I love the track and I couldn't really go fast. You know, I was just like battling and it was not super efficient and good to watch. Honestly, when I see it, I can see myself. It's like a little bit crisp, you know, like not so flowy, smooth and stuff. So, but still, it's okay. So here I'm coming out of the woods on that rocky canyon section, and you can see the crowd is actually massive. It's so sick. Here I have a different line than everybody else, but I don't know if it paid off. And that braking section was brutal. I almost lose here. You can see at the end of the turn, I almost lose the grip. I almost crash. Like I was telling you, I'm fighting my life for my life. And out of like in the middle of the turn, both my wheels just lose the grip a bit, and I stay on the bike. But it was a close call, so I was like, stay on the bike, you know, like trying not to blow up my my race like I did 5 years ago. And then here I also have a different line, full outside than most of the guys, too high. And here's where I crashed 5 years ago, so of course I was gonna go a little bit slower, reminders, you know. And then here I'm breathing a little bit, trying to get the last strength for the finish. Whoops, step down, whoops, I almost lose my hand from the handlebar. I was so cool. A little bit inside in the last turn, pedal. I actually look at the sign with the time and I can see I'm far and I'm not gonna do well, and I'm like so pretty good run, to be honest. Like I cannot complain. It's only 1 second from the win. I'm third. It's not like the end of the world, but the feeling was that I wanted and I felt like it was possible to win, and it was important for me to do it in Lourdes. I never did it before, and there was a lot of spectators, and I was like feeling excited about it. But there was 2 guys better than me on that day, so I was trying to enjoy the finish area, everything, but I was a bit salty, you know. I was like, fuck, you know. It was exciting, the best feeling to be riding a sick track with that crowd, but I was also not able to force myself into laughing and smiling. I was not happy, I was disappointed. So I was happy for Amaury and Finn, and I enjoyed the vibe, the atmosphere, but I could see I was not the guy who won the race, you know, so it was pretty tough, but still a super solid results for first round, and for me it's a good start. So hopefully I can capitalize on this at the end of the season. You know, like points are super important. I won the qualifying and stuff, so decent. And my questions, like the doubts you have, the lack of self-confidence, was replied with a nice weekend. So I was pretty happy with that. And yeah, on to the next one in Scotland. We have some more weeks now to prepare for it. I feel like it's gonna be a super tough one to do well at, because I'm never unbeatable. Yeah, you know, I'm like struggling to be on the podium. So I'll try harder this year. I feel like I need to give it a proper try, and yeah, pretty exciting. And thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoyed watching the race, the live, the replay, whatever. And it was a good show, and it was a good kickoff of the season. So thank you so much, and enjoy your day. Ciao. See you in Scotland.